Hi, welcome to the AVC video tip of the week, sponsored by Volleyball 101. Today we're going to be doing some interesting stuff. We're going to be talking about advanced offensive and defensive strategies for beach volleyball, specifically regarding routes, as well as some new and advanced hand signals for blocking that you will need to know in order to run these offensive strategies and defensive strategies. Okay, we're going to be having a lot of fun today. I'm using a software called V1 Sports App. It's the #1 online evaluation software in the world. They've had over 3 million downloads for golf, and we're doing some fun stuff with it for volleyball. Okay, so we're going to start off today with it's probably two of the most successful players in the world for beach volleyball that just won the most recent FIVB tournaments, Kerri Walsh and April Ross. And I think this is a really good, interesting video. This is part of that series that we started filming as demos, where we're filming it from 7 different angles. And what you'll notice is April is blocking, Kerri's playing defense. And the first thing you'll notice is the difference in hand signals. So you can see right now, April is giving an Area 6 blocking call, as well as calling the route that she wants, as well as the angle where she wants Kerri to serve. So they're trying to run their offense, their defense through the middle and force the opposition's offense to come in through the middle. And you'll see very quickly, they're targeting this player on the right over here because she's got a weird, funky arm swing and she hasn't been really well coached. And you'll notice this immediately when you start seeing some of the videos. Okay, so they're blocking serving Area 6 with an angle block from angle 1. Late move, boom, into the angle. Again, same thing. Late move, funky arm swing, boom, straight into the angle. And you can see it, we filmed this from 7 different angles with the team on one side. So let's pause, let's look at the same play and strategy, but from the side of the net. Now, Kerri, same thing, blocking angle. But now they're on the other side of the net running the same thing in the same play. Again, forcing the serve through the middle, forcing the player to run their offense through the middle. When we run this and call this, if you look at the advanced players, they call it either the I or the L formation in terms of running your offense. And this is really, really important in terms of understanding. Most people, when they look at routes for beach volleyball, they're only thinking running the ball through the middle, between the middle and the pin. Whereas if you look at the great players, they're not really necessarily doing that. Rather, they're trying to force their routes either through the middle of the court or through the outside of the court. And I'm going to show you some great examples in a little bit. Okay, let's just see this one more time from the other side. Boom, forcing it through the middle. Again, this funky arm swing. See how she penetrates angle and how she turns her body, forcing this. Now, we just looked at a bad example, so why don't we do the opposite and look at a really good example. Let's see, this is the video. So we're now going to look at, okay, same thing now with Kerri spiking. Okay, let's go into a full view for this. Okay, so first thing, there's no real serving strategy with these people. They're just trying to get the ball over the net. Big problem. This really allows Kerri to set up the offense that she wants. You'll notice the first thing she does is she passes the ball straight in front of her. This allows her partner to go to the target, okay, creating great space, and then she runs an L advance and route. You'll see this, and what this does is it basically creates so many angles and fun stuff for her. And again, it's pretty interesting for all of you guys that are like big into reading the game. I'm going to show you some fun stuff around this video quickly too. But what you'll notice is this forces the defender to go in and protect the angle, which is the biggest area of the court, the right thing to do, which then just opens up all of Kerri's shots down the line. And she just makes this team look silly. Boom. Okay, I think this is really funny. Okay, well, watch this in slow motion. Watch this chip player, watch the blocker's eyes. They are completely missing reading the game. So amazing with the software what you can start to do and see. Like, look at that. What is she looking at? Anyway, I'm sure Clark should have a field day on this one. But anyway, again, great angle to start to see. And what you can notice is, notice how the defender, because of the areas of the court, what Kerri has set herself up to do is really give herself big angles in large areas of the court. The spiking distance on the cross court is massive, forcing the defender to go in and step in and take that cross court, which opens up the line. So now let's look at this on kind of a drawing board so you guys can understand this a little bit more. So this is something, let's try and get some court on there. Okay. So one of the things where, if you look at the great players, they're basically running one of two types of offenses. They're basically running what I call either an I formation, and I'm calling it this, but this is what it's been called for the longest time, or they're running an offense where it's kind of this and then running the offense like that. And both times, often most of the time, it's dependent on the serve. Now, each one of these gives you different types of options. Now, I didn't share with you earlier, but Steve Anderson has worked out some things in terms of if you're the blockers using hand signals to control where the serve is. There's some really great videos on Volleyball 101 about hand signals for this and these advanced serving techniques. But basically, these different areas, so if you're coming through the middle as the attacker, so let's say your spot's right there, your spots or areas are completely different of where you're coming in and attacking the ball versus somebody that's coming in from the outside. So, you look at somebody that's coming in from here, blockers over here, defenders over here. This creates a completely different angle of attack. You look at your shots, your biggest areas that you want to be focusing on is the big sharp angles, which then essentially sets up your line shots. Now, if you look at the best players in the world, they're understanding this and then creating offensive systems around this. So let's look at some really good examples. I'm going to start off with Patterson. I love watching him. He is incredible running his offense through the middle. Okay, so let's get a good video of Casey. And what I like about this video, he's playing, that's probably the two best players in the world, Sean and Phil. Now, I'm really surprised by this because, Sean and Phil are very smart guys, great players. But in terms of running this, they're forcing most of this game, a lot of the game, they're forcing Casey down the middle, and you'll just watch Casey eat them up. Casey's got some incredible shots, and, you'll see them now. One, his spiking from the middle is incredible. He sees the court really well. You can see he eats you up on his line shot if you block him line. What I really like, too, is this shot, how he cuts it back. It's kind of like the Steiner shot, the little dance. He'll do the shot again. This thing is just incredible. But if you look, wow, that's really hot. Okay, that was really good. And you can start to see how he's eating them up with these offenses, and he runs his offense through the middle. Now, certain players, if you look at them, really are good like this. Okay, and now he's just making fun of them. Look at this back set. He's doing whatever he wants. So I think Phil and Sean would have done better by running him through the outside just based on how he attacks. Now, if you look at other players in the world, we're going to see two of my favorite players. One is Emanuel from Brazil. Okay, he is absolutely incredible at doing this and creating angles. He never runs his offense. Very little is he running it through the middle. He feels more comfortable running it through the outside. And you'll see it in this game. This is from the Olympics. The first two plays are broken plays. And then the third play is him in system. This is the very first play of the game. You can see he's out of system. Boom. High outside set. But still, because of the way it's set and the location, the blocker has to respect it. And he still has angles and shots. Boom. Lots of court to attack. If he had run that set through the middle, he wouldn't have as much court. Because look at the distances. Just look at how much space that creates. Versus if he was running the ball through the middle, there is less angle arrow here, there's less angle and distance to hit it. So very, very powerful attack. Let's keep watching. Another one, out of system, passes to the middle, a bad pass. If you look at like a Jake Gibb, a Todd Rogers, Sean, they're going to run that offense through the middle. Instead, Alison sets him outside, creating different angles for him. Boom. Able to get a side out off a bad pass and kill it away. Okay, now this is him in system. Easy serve, and now he's just going to eat you up. And this is what him and Kerri were doing so well, where they really set up their offense. And when you're in system like this on Emanuel, you just don't stand a chance. Let's watch this. Perfect pass in front of him, kind of like Kerri. Got the entire court. And what you'll also notice is where he's hitting it. So, you know, he's hitting it to an area where it's like, it's really, really difficult to defend. So in this situation, if you start running your offense anywhere in this area and he establishes your offense here, it's so difficult to dig the ball. You know, the great players, when they're actually going in and playing, this is the first shot they're establishing is the sharp angle. Okay, let's keep looking. Boom. Impossible. Okay, we're going to see the same thing now with Alison. Look at this. Pass the ball in the middle. A Casey would be running that, or Sean would be running that when he played left side right through the middle. Instead, high outside ball. Boom. Kill one. Bad pass. Even though they dig it, he still wins the point. And here you're going to see him a little bit more in system and just boom. It's absolutely crush it. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. And how are you using this in matches? You know, because I think that's the important thing. So you, as an offense, want to be first looking at who you're playing. So, for example, if I'm playing Emanuel and Alison, I'm going to try and force them and serve them down the middle to try and make them run routes that they don't want to run. So, you know, depending on the player, you know, you might want to serve them here in this channel so as to force them, hey, now they have to push that ball outside. You might get a little bit more lucky. If I'm playing somebody like a Casey Patterson, for example, I might go with a little bit more of a different strategy and kind of serve him down the line and take away different shots for him, force him to play different plays versus letting him eat you up alive, you know, with him chopping the ball all over the place like we saw. The other things that's going to matter on this is there's like a lot of different things that you want to take into account. So, for example, you know, even the beaches you play at, you go to places like Santa Monica Pier, and, you know, the center of the court might be dug out a foot or two, you know, middle summer, you know, no one's raking those courts. You know, so you might actually, if you're running your offense through the middle here, might be having to take an attack that's a foot or two lower because you're dug out in the sand. Okay, that's another opportunity. Obviously, we spoke about tendencies of players, you know, like that player with that weird arm swing. You know, you want to be looking at that. I've seen a lot of that with some of these new arm swing techniques, which don't give players a good broad range of motion on their arm swings. When they bring that stuff from indoor to the beach, they get eaten up alive, and you can take advantage of that. You can also take advantage of either an indoor player or a beach player. You know, a lot of indoor players are a lot more comfortable running their offense out the outside. So if you now then instead serve them down the middle, and now they're trying to get out there to run their offense, they're having a lot of problems. Or they're coming in through the middle, they're not used to running it like that, so they're not used to having these big angles to hit. Instead, let's say they're running their offense through the middle, blockers in front of them, they're now trying to hit. The angles are much smaller to hit versus coming in from the outside. And, you know, if they're coming in from the outside, where they've got much larger angles and much longer distances to hit. So those are some of the things to consider. I think the most powerful one for me is the wind. I was playing the other day down at the beach in Santa Monica. And, I think most of you know this is a pretty common thing where you get a wind blowing this way onto the court. Um, and, in that situation, what that means is it creates an area over here, this area to the left of the red, which is very, very difficult to defend on balls because the ball's coming into the wind and drops really quickly. So what happens is if you run a player through the middle and they now start attacking this, area, it's very, very difficult to defend. I was playing with a young guy who couldn't pull off the net properly. So, I was like, hey, change your offense. Instead doing that, let's force him to run from the outside. Okay. We play our blocker here, a defender a little bit more here. Now we're defending the line a little bit more. So we got this area covered. And instead, try and force him, because remember, we still got the wind coming across here. And let's try and force him into this. And, if you got the wind blowing, often that ball's going to go out of bounds. Also, if they decide to do a shot, a cut shot, for example, this is very easy to run down because the wind's holding it up, much more tougher than if you were coming in the other way. So things like that, all things you want to consider. We've got some great videos on this at Volleyball 101. I've also got some great videos with Steve Anderson and advanced blocking signals, as well as information on running your offense from the different points. So are you running an I formation offense through the middle? Are you running an L formation offense from the outside? We also have shot some great videos that we haven't put up yet with some of the great Brazilian coaches like Engenio Basil about doing this, drills, things that you want to be focusing on to help your players do these different strategies and working with them on some of this stuff. And that's kind of it. Also, if you're interested in using this app, we have the rights to all of volleyball for the V1 Sports app. Shoot me an email, ondoor@volleyball1on1.com. I'd be happy to help you with that and give you more information and go from there. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, and I hope you come check out all our videos. We're up to almost 2,000 at volleyball1on1.com. We're going to do our best to innovate in the sport and continue to bring you fun, exciting new things that will help you be a better coach and a better player. Cheers.